So in spite of losing several key players on offense this season, the Chiefs have not only made the right moves prior to the deadline, but they are even scarier than expected, especially if you look at their production over the last few games. So I've got to talk about that and much more as I dive into KC's epic overtime victory over the Bucs. But first, how about those? Well, what a game this was. Let's just get right into it here. The Bucs won the toss and for the first time this season opted to defer. The Chiefs then started marching down the field, getting Kelce involved, converting a 3rd and 1 with Kareem Hunt. Kelce then high-pointed this nice snag for 11, and he even got 9 more here, making that 3 catches on the opening drive for 24 yards. Mahomes then found Worthy all the way wide open, taking a shot at a potential touchdown, but Worthy barely stepped out of bounds, resulting in an incompletion with a costly sack following on 3rd down to actually take them out of field goal range. Mahomes wanted to try and extend the play, but VIDS shut that down. The Bucs had a couple nice plays before Justin Reid should have came down with this INT. He knew it, you knew it, I knew it, we all knew it, but have no fear because the big-ass oven mitts of George Karlaftis are here. He got a hand up on 3rd and 7 to force a punt that Mecole Hardman ended up returning 30 yards. It was an excellent return to get KC to the 45-yard line. The problem was he landed harshly on his right shoulder, and this caused him to leave the field to get further evaluated, being listed as questionable to return. And while Mecole did return later, catching a couple of key passes, it was a little stressful at first because with Mecole out, that left KC with minimal options at wide receiver overall, when you look at the fact that DeAndre Hopkins had only been here for like 9 days. And that's no disrespect to D-Hop because he ended up going insane. It's just more with Juju's hamstring and the other injuries they're dealing with right now. It left a little cause for concern, but he ended up returning. We'll just see how severe the shoulder injury is as the injury report comes out later this week. Speaking of D-Hop, though, he got involved on back-to-back plays with his second snag being an excellent 17-yard catch on an RPO. Mahomes rifled it, and Hop rarely drops, so let's freaking go. KC moved into the red zone with a Mahomes scramble, yet decided to run a piss-poor trick play, and Worthy was tackled for a 10-yard loss. I'm not even sure why they run these half the time because sometimes less is more and simple is more effective, but oh well. Butker drilled this 40-yarder to put the Chiefs up 3-0. Karlaftis then got home to Baker on 3rd and 6, which would have resulted in a punt, but a phantom flag on KC's defense moved the chains, and Tampa really took advantage of that one with Shepard taking a jet sweep up the right side for 19 yards. Then, after Irving got fed a couple of times, Shepard helped convert this 3rd and 9 with B. Cook a bit too soft in coverage to bring them to the 7. Rachaad White then took the handoff and proceeded to waltz into the end zone untouched for 6. Little cool side note here about White. He's a Kansas City native that went to Center High School and never attended a Chiefs game growing up because he couldn't afford a ticket. So in his first ever time at Arrowhead, he's in uniform, obviously as a Buck, but even scored a touchdown. Pretty cool story. I didn't like it at the time. It's like, yeah, I'm happy for you, but I'm not, but I am sort of. And yeah, let's just move on. But that did bring the Bucs up 7-3, and that drive went 11 plays for 70 yards and a score, and KC wanted to copy that, so Mahomes proceeded to lead an 11-play drive himself, going 70 yards with Justin Watson catching 2 key passes for first downs. He doesn't catch a lot of passes, but when he does, they are normally pretty effective. Then on 3rd and 8, it looked like Mahomes was going to be sacked, but he said, F it, D-Hop down there somewhere, and he lofted a pass right into the awaiting arms of DeAndre, who somehow caught the pass in triple coverage. That was insane. An absolutely electric play there on a route from Hop that was definitely off script. He said post-game that he was just trying to make a play for Mahomes on a bit of a scramble drill, going straight up the field, and Mahomes gave him a chance. Next thing you know, D-Hop then hauled in his first touchdown in Arrowhead a couple plays later on 3rd and goal. So basically, on 3rd down, because again, that 35-yarder was also on 3rd down, just look for either Kelce or D-Hop, and you're all good. Hopkins was able to sneak around the back of the end zone with Kelce and Gray getting most of the attention at the goal line, and therefore, touchdown Kansas City. Karlaftis then got to Mayfield again a couple plays later to set up a 3rd and 10 that Tampa couldn't convert, and man, Karlaftis has been an absolute menace the last few games in particular. He's really starting to heat up, and while he got banged up later in this game, I hope it's nothing too serious because We need this man out there. Anyway, this gave KC the ball back with under 2 minutes to go in the half, up 3, and still in possession of all 3 of their timeouts. Xavier Worthy couldn't haul in this sideline pass from Mahomes. Kind of the story of the season so far for Worthy. Close on so many plays, but no cigar yet. No worries though, because Travis Kelce helped convert a huge 3rd and 10 for 20 yards. Mahomes then barely missed a missile of a touchdown to Justin Watson, just out of reach. I mean, the white guy can only run so fast, and he almost got there anyway. And speaking of sadness, Travis Kelce caught the next pass and got the ball perfectly punched out, resulting in a tough fumble. Bucs recovered, and that was tough because the Chiefs were probably going to get points on that drive before half. Even if it was only 3, you're across midfield, you still have your timeouts, and you're going to go up even more before the half. But no dice. Each team then had another chance before the end of the second quarter to get some points. Couldn't make it happen, so 10-7 Chiefs up by 3 at the half. And boy, oh boy, did the second half get wild. There were 5 touchdowns scored, with one of them being a walk-off in overtime. But before I get to that, I wanted to remind you all, if you wanted to hang out and chat pregame for the next few games, come hang in the HBTC room within the Autograph app. Autograph is the app that gets you all the best Chiefs content in one place, from podcasts to HBTC videos, what's up, articles, tweets, even no-fee tickets to Arrowhead, and awesome rewards like signed jerseys just for consuming content within the app that you already do as a Chiefs fan anyway. On top of that, one of my favorite Autograph features is their daily morning brew-esque everything you need to know about the Chiefs update called Replay. Every morning, Replay generates a quick-hitting summary of the previous day's news so you can easily keep track of the most important Chiefs updates every single day. So not only are they the only place you need to be for every piece of Chiefs content you can imagine, but Autograph also opened up a room for me, kind of like a Discord server, so we can chat and hang out on game day. I'll be in there pre-game for the next few matchups roughly 45 minutes prior to kickoff, including this Sunday before the Broncos game, to answer any pregame questions and get hyped with you all. So, what are you waiting for? Download the app today by searching your preferred app store or clicking the link in the description down below. And don't forget to use my referral code HBTChiefs. Then I'll see you in the official How About Those Chiefs room this Sunday before KC gets that W over the Broncos. All right, the first play of the third quarter kind of foreshadowed what a wild half this would end up being after Bucky Irving returned the opening kickoff there almost to the 50-yard line. Joshua Williams then got flagged for a horse collar tackle to give Tampa another 15 yards via this 3rd and 1 jet sweep. Justin Reed then missed a tackle. I mean, it was a tough hit, but he did not make the tackle before another jet sweep to move the chains helped set up this Cade Otton touchdown. And Justin Reed was actually in coverage on this play here, so it was a couple of tough plays for Justin Reed and the defense as a whole starting out this third quarter. And this had the Chiefs trailing by 4. Kelce dropped this pass on 2nd down, and Mahomes got sacked to force a very quick 3 and out. And I know some were frustrated here with Mahomes on this one. This was his 3rd or 4th sack of the game at this point. But here's the thing. You're not trying to force something. You trust your defense. And why risk forcing a throw on this play here that could have resulted in an INT? Instead, you give Ariza a chance to flip the field. Cade Otton then snagged this 18-yard catch as Jaden Hicks lit him up, but he held onto the ball. Still, great tackle there by the rookie. A couple plays later, Otton helped them convert on 3rd and 12, which was frustrating to watch him continue to work the Chiefs over. This time it was Roland Wallace, but it didn't matter because the Bucs were flagged for an invisible face mask that backed them up 15 yards to create a deficit they couldn't overcome. So earlier in the game, the Chiefs defense got hit with a phantom flag, and then the Bucs offense here got hit with a phantom flag. It happens. I was terrified, though, to see both George Karlaftis and Turk Wharton. They both went down in pain on the same exact play during this drive. They did end up coming back in and finishing the game, but that's still a pretty scary sight to see 2 players on your D-line down on the same play, and both of these players have been having a rather fantastic season. They both came back and finished the game, but Andy said George is dealing with a hip issue, and it was Wharton's knee. Wharton tore his ACL a couple years ago, so hopefully it's nothing too serious there for him. I mean, if he finished the game, then surely it's not. Anyway, shortly after that, McLaughlin hit a 47-yarder to bring the Bucs up 17-10, and the Chiefs really needed to respond and answer here. Well, they then went back to the run game, thank God, and Hunt, along with that O-line, began heating up. McCole Hardman helped out as well on this 3rd down, but outside of that, Hunt basically marched them all the way down the field, even breaking off a rare 15-yard run. I think that was a season long for him, thanks in part to Trey Smith being an absolute unit in the run blocking aspect of things. With KC now at the 10, a shovel to Kelce set up a 3rd and goal at the 7, to which Mahomes responded with a scramble right, and toss to Pirine to tie up the game at the start of the 4th quarter. It was all happiness and celebrations until we saw Mahomes down on the field in pain, and all you could do at that point is hope and pray it was nothing serious, because Mahomes went down with what appeared to be a non-contact injury, and normally those are not good. Thankfully, it seems like he just further re-aggravated the ankle sprain he'd been dealing with over the week, because he got his ankle kind of tweaked in the Raiders game right near the end there, or sometime during that game. He had his ankle wrapped all week as well. During practice, was a full participant, so it didn't seem like a big deal, but he'd been dealing with an ankle, and he's had a couple ankle sprains in his career. Mahomes said it hurt, and he was scared at first. However, after walking off the field, he got looked at, got his ankle retaped, and was good to go. There was a moment, though, where Andy Reid wanted him to go get an x-ray, and Mahomes said, "We aren't doing this again," alluding to the Jags playoff game where Mahomes had to leave the game. So all in all, just glad he's okay. It was a scary moment, and while Mahomes did finish the game, it is an injury that can linger, so hopefully he's able to not re-aggravate it too much going forward, and that ankle can heal up before the playoffs. The crowd cheered as Mahomes took the field shortly after. KC's defense forced a very quick 3 and out for the Bucs, with Hunt once again getting to work. And after just going 12 plays for 70 yards, they went 15 plays for 78 yards as Kelce caught this pass on 3rd down, and Kareem converted this 4th down to keep it moving. Hardman then caught a quick pass, turning that into 12. Justin Watson got involved again on 3rd and 5. KC then once again got inside the 10. Facing a 3rd and goal, you had Kelce, Gray, and Worthy stacked up on the right side, and this created a favorable one-on-one matchup for DeAndre Hopkins on the left side. Well, of course, if you got D-Hop one-on-one, you're going to throw it to him, and that's exactly what Mahomes did. And D-Hop not only ran a clean route, but he locked in his 2nd receiving score of the evening. I mean, good God, what a trade Veach made for Hop. You are down Rice, down Hollywood, and Juju's hamstring needs time to heal, so you go and get a future Hall of Famer for a 5th. That could be a 4th, and Nuke has already been worth the trade. You do not win this game without this man. This put KC up 24-17, and the Bucs had 4 minutes and all 3 timeouts, so plenty of time for him. Well, Baker was sacked by everybody, including the water boy on 2nd down, and this led to another 3 and out for the 2nd straight drive. The Chiefs just needed a few first downs and they could ice this game. But what is the fun in that? Instead, the Chiefs then go 3 and out themselves, with Pirine dropping an attempted screen that stopped the clock. And this allowed the Bucs to keep a timeout and still have the 2-minute warning. A catch there either takes away the Bucs' last timeout or the 2-minute warning. So yeah, I hated to see that drop. It was raining, the ball was slick, so I get it, but still, sucked to see. Things started out dicey for Tampa, though, as Chris Jones got held, backing them up, but Palmer and Shepard helped take care of that, with Shepard getting them quickly across midfield. Baker continued targeting Shepard on multiple plays here, and this man delivered. Trey Palmer then scorched Nick Bolton here in this god-awful play to bring the Bucs to the 1-yard line, and this is where I started to sweat a little bit. You have the end of the game here. If they score, they go for 2 points, and it's over, right? Well, on 2nd and goal, McDuffie bit on the run, and Ryan Miller found himself wide open for the easy score, but they elected not to go for 2. Instead, I think the weather helped head coach Todd Bowles decide to kick the extra point and tie it up instead. Well, I'm very glad they did, because ultimately this gave KC 27 seconds and all 3 timeouts to try to win it. Back-to-back near INTs, though, forced a punt that ended the 4th quarter and brought things to overtime. Baker and Mahomes were at midfield, to which Baker called for tails on the coin toss, and it was heads. So, of course, the Chiefs asked for the ball, and a touchdown on this drive is all that was needed to win it all. Well, Hunt had an impressive catch out of the backfield for 10. Then after Kelce moved the chains, D-Hop had an even more impressive catch, spinning off a would-be tackler for 15 yards. Good God, that was impressive. Not to be outdone, though, Kelce then had a 15-yard catch of his own to bring the Chiefs down to the 11. This was a well-designed play-action pass, which you love to see, and this definitely had the Bucs sweating as they were backed way up deep into their own territory. Hunt drove his way down a few more yards. Kelce then caught this pass to bring them near the 1. And before I get to the next play, which is 3rd and 1, I want to point out many wanted Jawan Taylor flagged for a false start here, saying he moved too early. He's typically pretty quick off the line. I didn't see anything egregious here, but honestly, I wouldn't have cried if they flagged him here because there is no way the Chiefs were losing this game. They were going to score a touchdown on this drive no matter what. Trust me. On the flip side, though, again, it didn't seem egregious enough to flag. But of course, no matter what happens in these games, it's always something to these losers. The Chiefs either get bailed out by a flag or bailed out by a no call every single game. That piss poor loser mentality is so exhausting that I don't even know how they have the energy to get out of bed and go to their minimum wage job that they hate each and every morning. But yeah, with that extremely egregious no call, sarcasm, that set up a 3rd and 1 to which Kareem Hunt said, "Feed me," and he delivered with a walk-off touchdown. They're going to hand it off to Hunt, and he's going to score! Let's go! 8-0! Let's go! And while you didn't ask to see that celebration of mine, it was well worth sharing with you all because the Chiefs are undefeated 8-0, and I love to see Hunt getting that in-game touchdown. His celebration, by the way, was simply showing love to Chiefs Kingdom. You can tell he's extremely grateful for his second chance with the team, and boy, was he an incredible free agent pickup after Pacheco went down. This was a great Chiefs win overall. Yes, it wasn't perfect, I get it, but somebody asked me last night if I was concerned about the Chiefs struggling to beat the Bucs when they were down their top 3 receivers. The short answer is not really, because they didn't lose. They haven't lost a game yet. Everyone else in the NFL that has struggled at times in a game has failed to overcome that in multiple games, racking up more than one L, obviously, aside from the Lions, who have only lost 1. So no, I'm not concerned. Mahomes had arguably his best game of the season, completing 77% of his passes for nearly 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. The INT curse is also broken, so thank God for that. Then, look at this. Over the last 3 games, the Chiefs' offense has scored a touchdown in the red zone 11 out of 13 times. That's an 84% touchdown percentage, which is actually insane. Something else that was insane is that KC has also converted 32 of their 48 third down attempts, and that's a conversion rate of 67% with a 54% conversion rate on the entire season, which is first in the NFL by quite a lot. And if that wasn't enough, the Chiefs are averaging over 28 points per game since October. This is a combination of Kareem Hunt and somebody to take pressure off of Travis Kelce, i.e., DeAndre Hopkins, even though it's only his second game with the team. Now, to hone back in on this game specifically, the Chiefs were 12 for 18 on third down, 4 and 4 in the red zone, dominated the time of possession, 40 to 25 minutes. D-Hop had 8 catches for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kelce then had 14 catches for 100 yards, which is quite the 1-2 combo. Get this, with those 14 catches that Kelce had in last night's game, he is now the first NFL player in history from any position over the age of 35 to catch 14 or more passes in a game. That is wild. One of the most wild stats on the evening, though, is if you look at the third downs from last night's game, Mahomes was 11 of 13 for 126 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 10 first downs. So when you need it the most, he delivered at the highest level on these third downs, which is unreal. Also got to shout out Kareem Hunt as well. He had 27 carries for 106 yards and the game-winning touchdown. This man rarely ever loses yards. Again, rarely also has explosive runs, but he's doing what is asked of him, and that is helping move the chains, and has been a huge piece of the puzzle for the Chiefs on offense. On defense, I think this was a below average performance, at least by Spags and his team's usual standards. They allowed 24 points to a Bucs team down multiple offensive playmakers. Part of the issue was that they allowed Tampa to go 3 for 3 in the red zone, but to the Bucs' credit, they had the second best red zone offense in the entire NFL, and they also have the second best third down conversion rate in the league. But to the defense's credit, they held them to just 5 of 11 on third downs. Nick Bolton struggled in coverage last night, giving up 5 receptions on 5 targets for 49 yards. Roland Wallace, meanwhile, gave up 4 receptions on 4 targets for 47 yards himself. McDuffie, on the other hand, allowed just 2 catches for 15 yards, though he did give up a touchdown, with Justin Reed giving up the other. A couple more positives on defense is Karlaftis balled out. Chris Jones led the team in pressures, even though Baker Mayfield barely gave these guys time to even get to him. And then, once again, the run defense did a pretty dang good job. Bucky Irving had 7 carries for 24 yards. Rachaad White had 3 for 19, and Sean Tucker had 3 for 11. So to running backs, that's an average of 4.1 yards per carry, yes, but a total of just 54 yards combined on the night. All in all, sure, the offense had to carry a bit in this game, which isn't a positive per se, but considering how many times the defense has had to carry in the game especially, I think it's okay that the offense had to step up in this one and get it done, which is exactly what they did. Mahomes getting sacked 4 times in a game wasn't great, but they played a hell of a game overall, and it's only up from here as D-Hop continues to learn the playbook. Pacheco should return on the offensive side of the ball, maybe by the end of November, as well as Minihue. He could be returning for the D-line, which is only going to add even more strength there with the addition of Joshua Uche, and you might, maybe, potentially have Hollywood Brown back for the playoff run as well. Good news on that front, and I just hope the team all around can stay healthy because the injuries have been god-awful this year so far. Before I get out of here, I did want to mention that today was the trade deadline, and the Chiefs made no other moves by the end of said deadline, but that's okay. VIDS did make moves, and if you would have told me a month ago that VIDS would have made 2 moves before the deadline involving a future Hall of Fame wideout and a pass rusher with a win percentage almost as good as Chris Jones, yet to get these 2 pieces, they only gave up a 2025 5th-round pick that could turn into a 4th and a 2026 6th-round pick to do so. I would say that's a big old W. Anyway, make sure to let me know your thoughts on this game in the comments down below, your standout performances, your biggest concerns, all that good stuff. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?